my chin friend. So today I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic that is mimicking nature in guqin music. One of the greatest difference between Chinese music and Western music to me is that Chinese music often has very specific title, like wild geese descending on the beach, flowing water, high mountain, or the crow crying at night, something like that. Very, very specific, either describing a specific scenery, specific with a specific kind of animal, landscape, or a specific story, specific feeling. While Western music, if you just look at the title, it's very abstract, right? It doesn't tell you anything about the meaning or the image in the music. So you have something like, violin concerto in G major, or sonata um, in A minor, something like that. But that doesn't mean, in Western music, there's no specific imagery, specific scenery. That also doesn't mean Chinese music is not abstract. All music are abstract, basically. It's a series of frequency linked together and um, and make you feel something. So I think on essentially they are both very abstract, but they also both through the acoustic sound, allowing you to have some visual effect as well. In Western music, there are also music that mimic nature. The most famous one might be Sansong's The Carnival of the Animals, right? They mimic donkey, mimic the swan, and mimic horse running, etc. And also in even in such great classical composer like Beethoven, like in the Pastoral Symphony Number 6, there is very melodic. Um, but then following that, there is a bong 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 da da dee da da dee da. So that bong bong bong, that to me is kind of mimicking like cuckoo, the cuckoo bird. So there are in Western music there are nature mimicking, and Chinese music is just as abstract as Western music. But what I wanted to say is in Chinese music that nature mimicking is more apparent, and there are passages that are specifically pointing to the meaning suggested in the title. So the most famous um, one might be, the flowing water. So the greatest challenge for mimicking nature in music is how you merge the melodic, abstract sound with that nature mimicking. So that require a lot of genius, and that basically determined whether a piece of music is successful or not so successful. The successful one should have seamless merging of the melodic with nature mimicking, and then transit in and then transit out. So I'm going to demonstrate, for example, in flowing water. So there's large passages of mimicking water, mimicking different different condition of water, but the transition through the melodic. So here is kind of starting the transition. So in this passage, it's mainly melodic, it's primarily melody, but then the this kind of a guqin, we call it a guqin fu, guqin and a fu, start getting the momentum built up, start getting the nature mimicking sound in, and then after that, the nature mimicking part gets stronger and stronger, and the melodic part gets weaker and weaker, and eventually there's no melody, just the sound mimicking. So following that section as a transition, it go like this. So it's almost so nature mimicking is primary here. Get faster and faster. And here, like a waterfall. Smaller streams. Stronger and stronger. So here, the small stream turn into a wide river, and your movement should also kind of slow down. Smaller kind of swirling of the water. So it's kind of like you are zooming out with your camera. So the sound also gets softer, and then zoom in. And from here, it will start to give you a feeling of transiting out from the nature mimicking and go into melodic again. But it never goes straight forward. It always have some going back to nature again. Notice here, this is exactly the same as the beginning. And then transit out. So basically, transiting in and transiting out, it's exactly the same. That it's classical, right? It has a structure. It has very symmetrical structure, like a great, like a Greek temple or something. It's symmetrical. So transiting in is this. And then the end is exactly the same thing. So this is one example. Second example, so this is like mimicking landscape, mimicking, excuse me, mimicking water. Second example I want to demonstrate is kind of mimicking animal. 平沙落雁, the wild geese descending on the beach, which has a lot of different versions. They all have that mimicking the cry of the geese. Right, we all hear, in autumn, in the fall, we hear the Canadian geese flying by, and they make the sound. So some are simpler, like most version has only minimal amount of nature mimicking, and the majority are melodic, like in Guanping Hu's version. It's basically just this part. And then you transit out to become melodic. And then in the Meian version, it has a much longer passage of mimicking. That is something I wanted to demonstrate here. So again, it needs to transit from the melodic into the mimicking part. So this is the melodic. And then so far, it's still sporadic geese cry. You hear one geese cry first, and then more geese following. So you start hearing more and more geese. It's get the sound get denser and denser, and finally you start hearing a lot of geese crying. And then the last part is like geese crying together with the flapping of the wings. And here it started transiting out to the melodic part, right? So one more time. So it start a melodic part. Oh, the table is shaking. Right. Anyway, so this is another one, mimicking animal. So another famous piece of nature mimicking we might cite here is the the crow crying at night. So again, it start with something that is not specifically about the crow or the raven, but something suggesting some kind of, because the crow does not cry at night usually, right? It is usually awakened by something or scared by something. There must be some kind of a stir to make them cry. So this is, to me, the stirring part. Something is awakening them. So this part is getting faster and faster. Like you can imagine wind, a strong wind storm, or some kind of a disturbance for the bird to be awakened and cry. This is one section. It's kind of to me, it's a awakening section, and then the cry follow, and start with something more melodic as well. And that's kind of transiting out to the melodic. So that section kind of this is like that's the crying sound, right? These are just a few examples. There are many. They are kind of a mimicking. Well, maybe you cannot call it nature mimicking, but they are also mimicking a lady cry, or mimicking of the leaf falling from the tree, and mimicking even something mythical animal. Like no one saw it, but you do see a lot of images imagined images in painting, like the dragon, right? How to depict a dragon, mimic that. Not nature, but still it's kind of try to give you a sense of dragon flying and going in and out of the cloud, and something that, excuse me, I can demonstrate more in future videos. All right, thank you so much. If you like this video, please like and share and subscribe. We'll see you next time.